Hey, I know you're tired. I know you've been waiting for a sign that actually means something. So let me say this slowly, soul to soul. God whispered your name today. And Archangel Michael? He's been begging heaven for just 1 minute of your time, because the moment you've been silently praying for is happening tonight at 9 p.m. But here's the twist that will shake you deeply. You're standing at the door of a life-changing $55 million miracle. And if you close this message too soon, you won't even know you missed it. Yes, God said today is the transfer. But heaven is watching if you'll open your hands, or walk away. Beloved soul. This isn't some random message. You were pushed to see this for a reason. God made sure your spirit paused at this exact moment. Because while the world is spinning unaware, a divine wire has been sent in the spiritual realm. One that carries the vibration of abundance, justice, and restoration. Michael has seen the pain you've been hiding behind your smile. He knows how long you've carried that dream with no one believing in it but you. But listen carefully now. This isn't just a message. This is a moment. Glowing star. Before we go on, let me softly say this with love. If your heart feels even a tiny spark, if your soul says, "Wait, this feels different," then pause for a moment. And make sure you subscribe right now so you never miss another message meant for only you. Because Michael is choosing who to alert next, and you're on the list. Don't skip it. That one click could hold the next miracle in your inbox. Glowing star. Now breathe. Because I need to tell you something raw and holy. God has released a money miracle. Not just a trickle. Not some, maybe one day, blessing. But $55 million worth of divine justice that was stolen from you, whether through generational blocks, past life oaths, or earthly betrayals. And heaven finally said, enough. At 9 p.m. tonight, Archangel Michael says your name will be spoken in the spirit realm. It's a spiritual transfer. It's not coming from a bank. It's not coming from a human. It's coming from the hand of God Himself. And guess what? The moment your name is called, if your heart isn't in agreement, it passes you by. And someone else takes it. That's why Michael is pleading. Don't ignore this. Don't walk away. Don't scroll. Because this time, it's you. You've been skipped over long enough. You've watched others walk into blessings you only dreamed of. You've smiled at their wins while secretly wondering, when is it going to be my turn? Tonight. Heaven says, it's your turn. But only if you respond. And no, this isn't about luck. This is about prophecy. It's been written for years, buried under the noise of your heartbreak and betrayal. But the angel assigned to release it just arrived. Michael says there were forces trying to delay this, to stop this transaction from reaching your soul. But they failed. Because you didn't give up. And because your spirit was brave enough to wait for this message. So now I'm going to ask you. Can you feel it? That energy rising in your chest? That sudden warmth? That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. If you shut this window now, the miracle rewinds. The scroll closes. And the next person is chosen. But if you choose to stay, to believe for just 1 minute more, then a divine gate is opening in your name. The number is real. $55 million. But it's not just about the money. It's about the symbol of restoration. It's about the recognition of what was stolen from your bloodline. Tonight, you'll receive the first sign. It may come through a dream, a notification, a random email, or a stranger's words. But make no mistake. You're being watched. Heaven is checking if you'll act or delay. Michael says, if you open this message with faith, you trigger a divine unlocking. But if you treat this like just another message, you cancel the angel's mission with your own disbelief. God said, I'm not forcing it. I'm offering it. That's why this message didn't shout. It came gently. Just like heaven always does when it's testing obedience. Now breathe again. Because something is happening around you right now. Your energy is shifting. The gates are swinging open. And your name is echoing through a realm you can't yet see. But your spirit can feel. Stay with me. Don't skip. You're almost at the moment where your breakthrough becomes physical. Alright, close the door behind you. Because what I'm about to say now, only your spirit will understand. It's the kind of truth that bypasses logic and goes straight into your bones. Tonight isn't just a night. It's the return of everything they said you'd never have. And God is tired of watching you suffer in silence. Archangel Michael says, there was a spiritual meeting in heaven regarding you just 3 days ago. Yes, about you. Not your neighbor, not your cousin, not someone more qualified. You. Because there is an unclaimed blessing that's been held in escrow for years. It wasn't denied. It was delayed. Because there were people around you who would have destroyed you the moment you touched it. So God had to hide it until your spirit matured. Until your heart stopped begging for crumbs from the wrong hands. And now? You're finally ready. You've crossed the line. You've walked through fire. You didn't give up. And now heaven is not only celebrating. It's activating. Let me make this clear. The $55 million is not just money. It's spiritual compensation. For every time you were laughed at. For every time you were left out. For every time someone made you feel like your dreams were too big. God saw it. He heard what they said behind your back. He watched you cry into your pillow while still waking up every day to try again. And now, God is saying, tell my chosen one, if they just hold on till 9 p.m. If they stay in alignment. If they open their heart fully. I will pour out a blessing that will break generational chains. You think it's a coincidence that you're reading this right now? No. You've been divinely interrupted. Because heaven is testing your response. If you ignore this, the miracle will pause. If you receive this, your life will split into before and after this night. This is a wealth gate. And it has your name carved in gold. Michael says. They tried to block it. Demons were assigned to distract you. To make you question your worth. To keep you stuck in guilt, shame, and fear. But even the darkness is trembling now. Because you made it this far. And if you think money doesn't matter to heaven, remember this. It's not about greed. It's about purpose. It's about what you will do with it. You were chosen to receive large wealth. Because your hands won't waste it. God said. This soul will use it to build. To heal. To free others. To restore families. To shift nations. But you have to pass this moment. You have to choose to believe that this message didn't show up by accident. You have to say yes before the clock hits 9 p.m. Because after 9 p.m., the angel assigned to your breakthrough will leave. And the door closes again. You have no idea how long this angel's been fighting to get this through. You almost missed it yesterday. You almost skipped it last week. But something in your soul said, stay a little longer. Read a little deeper. That wasn't you. That was the Holy Spirit nudging you. Because God is serious about this one. This isn't a test run. This is the moment. And yes, there are people who will scoff at this. There are people who won't understand your fire. But that's okay. They weren't called. You were. You are the one that heaven has been whispering about. The one the enemy has tried to destroy since birth. Because the wealth on your name isn't normal. It's supernatural. It's the kind of wealth that heals bloodlines. And that's why you've faced so many battles. Because hell knew that if you ever accessed it, everything would change. And now? It's trembling. Because you're closer than ever. But here's the part no one else will tell you. This blessing requires your permission. God will never force it. He needs a full yes. Not a maybe. Not a half-open heart. But a yes so loud, the angels can move into position. Can you do that? Can you trust what your spirit is saying even if your mind is scared? Let me tell you what I see in the spirit. I see vaults opening. I see your name glowing on scrolls. I see your photo laid on an altar with flames around it. I see Michael's sword drawn, ready to cut down every demon that stood in your way. I see $55 million wrapped in golden light, waiting to find its final home. And I see one word stamped across the envelope. Approved. But God won't release it without your agreement. Because He's a God of honor. He will never invade a heart that doesn't invite Him. So you're being asked now. Will you believe? Will you receive? Will you declare, "This is my miracle. This is my moment. I receive it fully, and I say yes." Because if you do, something will shift within the next 6 hours. Your name will be spoken in the mouths of people you've never met. Doors that were closed will swing open without explanation. And you'll know that you just passed the most sacred test of your life. This is the kind of night you'll tell your future children about. The kind of moment where God rewrites the story. The kind of blessing that makes you cry in the shower and whisper, "I knew you didn't forget me." And He didn't. Not for 1 second. Alright, take a deep breath and hold it just for a moment. Because what comes next is not just divine. It's holy. It's rare. And it's about you. Listen closely. There's a sacred silence in heaven that only happens when a major shift is about to occur. Right now, as your eyes touch these words, angels have stopped singing. Why? Because you're about to be chosen publicly for what God has been preparing you for privately. There's an ancient scroll, wrapped in fire and sealed with gold, that has been untouched for generations. Not because it wasn't ready, but because the person it was meant for hadn't arrived in full readiness. That scroll carries your name. It carries the blueprints to a destiny so big, even you haven't dared to dream it fully. Archangel Michael is holding that scroll right now. He stood before the throne and said, "Father, is it time yet?" And heaven, after centuries of silence, finally said, "Yes." The scroll is your inheritance. It's not just the $55 million in money. It's the value of your purpose. It's the wealth tied to your vision. It's the abundance tied to your voice, your gifts, your obedience. You see, while others were chasing popularity, you were in the quiet places, trying to survive. While others posted highlight reels, you were weeping between prayers no one heard. While others built empires from ego, you were learning the language of faith. One silent battle at a time. And now heaven says, that was never wasted. Not one tear. Not one sacrifice. Not one midnight surrender. You've passed tests in silence that would have broken kings. You've loved people who left you bleeding. You've walked away from things your flesh wanted, because your spirit knew better. And that, beloved soul, is why the blessing is yours. Because heaven doesn't reward perfection. It rewards purity. It rewards resilience. It rewards the soul who kept walking when everything said, quit. Tonight, your name will rise in the spirit realm. And it's not rising alone. It's rising with favor. With justice. With a divine alarm that says, the hour of divine payback has come. Michael is standing by a spiritual gate. It's guarded. Not everyone can access it. But your name? It has the access code burned into it. You've been tested, refined, processed. And tonight is your moment of release. But here's the sacred warning. If your heart is not present, if your spirit isn't open, the gate closes at 9 p.m. sharp. No second chances. Not this time. Because this isn't just another window. This is the final gate of this cycle. There's been a pattern in your life. Every time something good comes close, something suddenly crashes it. Every time a door opens, someone sabotages it. Every time your hopes rise, betrayal walks in. Michael says that was never coincidence. That was a spiritual strategy to keep you tired, discouraged, and doubting your own light. Because hell knew if you ever aligned fully. If you ever stood up and said, I will not miss what God has for me again. Then the chains would shatter. The contracts would cancel. And the wealth would release. Tonight is the night you cancel the pattern. Tonight is the night you say, no more delays. No more sabotage. No more false starts. Tonight is the night you say, I receive it all. And I won't lie to you. This blessing will cost you something. It will cost you your old mindset. It will cost you your fear. It will cost you the comfort of small dreams. Because $55 million isn't for the timid. It's for the bold. It's for the ones who know they were sent here for more. This wealth isn't random. It's assigned. Assigned to the soul who will use it for good. For healing. For legacy. For light. You are that soul. And heaven is watching your response. Every second you remain in belief. You're expanding the size of what's coming. Every doubt you remove is like another wall collapsing. Every time you whisper, I trust you, God. Another angel moves closer. Right now, there's a sound in the spirit. A trembling. Because chains are falling off your name. Debts are dissolving. Enemies are being silenced. And destiny is coming forward, unashamed, undeniable. God says, I will not let another take what belongs to my chosen one. Not this time. Not anymore. Michael is nodding. He's standing at the edge of your future, holding a flaming sword in one hand and the scroll in the other. And he's begging you. Please, don't let fear stop you. Don't let disbelief close your hands. You were born for this. You feel it, don't you? That tingling in your hands? That pressure in your chest? That's the presence of the angel. That's the energy of the miracle forming. Don't rush. Sit in it. Soak in it. Because everything you've ever asked God for is now asking for you. Yes, let's continue. And this time, let's go even deeper. Into the part of your story that no one else has ever fully understood. Because what's coming to you tonight isn't just money. It's redemption. It's God saying, I remember when they laughed. I remember how they doubted your vision. I remember how they told you, be realistic. But I didn't give you a realistic dream. I gave you a prophetic one. Heaven is rewarding the you that kept going when nobody clapped. The you that poured out love while secretly hoping someone would just notice your heart. The you that gave and gave and gave, until you had nothing left but prayer. And even then, you whispered, God, I trust you. Even now. Even still. That trust? That one fragile mustard seed of belief? It reached heaven. It passed through clouds of doubt, through winds of fear, through storms of silence. And it finally hit the throne of God. And God said, now, release the reward. So when Archangel Michael says, $55,000,000 is arriving at 9 p.m. It's not just a number. It's prophetic proof that the unseen is becoming seen. That the prayers you thought God ignored were being wrapped in gold. That the delays were actually divine preparations for something so massive. You would have crumbled under it last year. And now? Now your spirit is strong. Now your soul is aligned. Now your heart is purified by fire. And now the angels are coming, not to comfort you, but to crown you. Let me explain what's happening in the unseen. Your name has been spoken in the heavens' wealth chambers. And right now, one specific angel is being dispatched with your delivery. Not just in spirit, but in physical confirmation. It could show up through a call, a bank update, a mysterious deposit, an unexpected gift. A signed contract. A total reversal. But Michael says, it will arrive. And when it does, don't hesitate. Don't downplay it. Don't reject the miracle you've been praying for. This is important. Because you've been conditioned to expect little. To not get your hopes up. To pretend you're okay with just enough. But heaven is saying, no more survival. Now it's time to thrive. This level of breakthrough is going to feel too big. You'll question if you're worthy, if you're ready, if it's real. But those are old thoughts. And old thoughts don't belong in new seasons. You have to walk into this blessing like you've already held it in your hands in a dream. Because you have. God gave you glimpses. Moments where you saw yourself happy, free, provided for. Those weren't fantasy. Those were previews. And now the full version is arriving. There are 3 things you need to do before 9 p.m. Open your heart. Let go of doubt. Let go of fear. Say yes out loud. Agree with heaven. Speak it. Claim it. Own it. Heaven moves on declarations. Stay expectant. The miracle is on a timer. Don't let low energy or distraction steal your alignment. Tonight is not like other nights. There is a holy countdown happening. And once it reaches 0, a door opens that has been sealed for decades, maybe centuries. And behind that door is the life you always sensed was yours. The life that felt distant, unreachable, until now. The $55 million isn't just a number. It's confirmation of identity. Because only someone divinely trusted receives this kind of abundance. You're not just anyone. You're a spiritual architect. A generational rebuilder. A vessel of wealth with a mission for global impact. And it starts the moment you stop doubting and say, God, I receive it all. No fear. No resistance. No turning back. I'm ready. Archangel Michael is still here. Watching. Listening. Guarding this moment from any last-minute interference. Because he knows how close you are. He knows how many times you were almost destroyed before you got here. But you made it. And for that, heaven is celebrating you. So if you're still reading this, then your soul already said yes. And the miracle is already on its way. Then come closer. Because what's about to be said next may be the most important message your soul ever hears. You see, there are moments in life when heaven stops everything. When the angels stop singing. When the Spirit stops whispering to the crowd and speaks directly to one person. That person is you. Yes, you. Because for years, your name has been circling heaven. But every time your blessing was about to break through, something blocked it. Someone gossiped. Someone lied. Someone did witchcraft. Someone who was jealous tried to tie up your name in invisible knots. They weren't attacking your money. They were attacking your identity. Because they knew who you were before you did. But Archangel Michael saw it all. He stood beside you when no one else stood up for you. And today, he's fighting like never before. Because this is not just a breakthrough. This is a heavenly refund. Everything you were denied is returning. Everything you lost is reappearing. Everything that was locked is being forcefully reopened. And tonight at 9 p.m., the biggest financial portal over your life will activate. But only if your heart is still open. Not halfway open. Not, I hope so, open. Fully. Because heaven doesn't work with hesitation. It works with conviction. Faith so loud, it drowns out every voice of lack. Faith so strong, even angels pause to listen to the fire inside you. This message, these words, this very moment, is part of a divine test. One that's being recorded. Yes, recorded. Because God isn't just watching what you say out loud. He's watching what you think in private. He's watching if you dare to believe that $55 million isn't impossible. Because for Him, it's not even difficult. God doesn't blink at big numbers. He created gold. He created the earth. Do you really think transferring a small portion of His abundance to you would be hard? No. The challenge is not heaven's ability to give. It's your ability to receive. And that's why Michael is begging. Don't miss this. Don't reason it away. Don't talk yourself out of it like you've done so many times before. Don't let logic destroy your miracle. God says, I chose you for this because I could trust you with it. Because I saw how you handled small and stayed faithful. Because I saw how you gave your last. How you kept praying when your heart was breaking. How you protected others while you were secretly falling apart. I saw it all. And now, I will repay. Tonight is spiritual recompense. That number, $55 million. It's coded with everything you didn't receive when you should have. It holds the value of prayers from your childhood. It holds the years you lost waiting for someone to love you correctly. It holds the weight of the dreams you buried so you wouldn't feel disappointed again. But God says, I never forgot. And I never changed my mind about you. Archangel Michael has cleared the air around you. Chains that were tied to your family line are being broken as you read. Evil eyes are going blind. Wicked mouths are going mute. Financial oppression is being lifted. And a divine flow is being turned on. But listen. You must stay in agreement. Because the moment you allow fear to rise, the flow slows down. Not because God stops loving you, but because fear clogs the channel. So tonight, you are not allowed to fear. You are not allowed to settle. You are not allowed to say, I don't deserve it. Because God says, who are you to deny what I have approved? This is bigger than money. This is about restoring the very image of God in you. This is about heaven showing the world what favor looks like. This is about divine justice finally being carried out on earth, through you. The way people treated you, they thought they got away with it. But God has been watching. And He doesn't just restore, He multiplies the restoration. What you thought would come back as a small blessing, He's bringing back in full, overflowing, radical abundance. He's not returning what was stolen. He's giving you interest on the pain. The time you spent waiting was not lost. It was invested. And tonight at 9 p.m., the returns hit your account. That's why this message had to reach you now. Not later. Because every second after this moment, it's sacred. It's measured. And the angels have their eyes only on you. Heaven is watching if you dare to believe, fully, boldly, loudly. Not just in words, but in energy. In posture. In silence. In expectation. Right now, as you read this, a spiritual key is turning. A code is being entered. The vault is opening. And the $55 million miracle is starting to move. You don't have to see it yet. You just have to feel it. And if you feel that pull in your chest, that pressure behind your eyes, that silent scream of, "Please let this be real," then this is for you. It's been for you all along. Then let's keep going. Because we are stepping into the final stretch of the miracle's manifestation. And now that you've come this far, Archangel Michael says, you are standing at the gate. Do not turn back now. Heaven is on high alert right now. Do you feel that tug in your spirit? That soft trembling in your chest? It's not anxiety. It's not coincidence. It's the vibration of a blessing pressing against the veil of the unseen. A veil that is moments away from tearing open. And when it tears, it won't be quiet. It won't be soft. It will be the kind of blessing that makes noise in the natural realm. People will call you. Doors will swing open without you knocking. Accounts will shift. Numbers will change. Faces will stare in shock. And all you'll be able to whisper is, I waited. And it came. Michael says the enemy has one last trick. And that is to distract you right before the release. To make you doubt this word. To make you walk away from the page. To say, maybe tomorrow. But listen to me. There is no tomorrow in the realm of the Spirit when it comes to tonight's blessing. There is only now. Because this kind of gate only opens once in a spiritual cycle. And the cycle is closing tonight. Don't let your natural eyes rob you of what your spirit already knows. You weren't crazy for dreaming big. You weren't wrong for believing more. They called it delusion. But God calls it prophecy. They said you needed to be more practical. More realistic. But heaven says, your realism was never meant to replace my miracles. You were called to walk in the impossible. To hold what others couldn't even imagine. To rise from places where others collapsed and never returned. And that's why the $55 million was assigned to you. Because only you would carry it with honor. With vision. With compassion. You don't want money just to show off. You want to build. You want to rescue. You want to restore. You want to be the miracle in someone else's prayer. That's why you're dangerous to darkness. That's why they tried to make you give up. But you didn't. You stayed. And God took notes. Every moment of silence where you still praised Him. He remembered. Every sacrifice you made when no one said thank you. He remembered. Every lonely birthday. Every rejection email. Every fake friend. Every night you went to bed hoping maybe next month will be better. He remembered it all. And now He says, this child will lack nothing again. You've entered the era of no more almost. No more close calls. No more half breakthroughs. No more being passed over. The mantle has officially shifted onto your name. But let me tell you what will happen if you skip this. If you walk away too soon. If you say, this sounds too good to be true. The angels will wait. But they won't wait forever. Because this word has a timer. And when the clock hits 9 p.m., it either arrives in your life, or it's rerouted. And it doesn't matter how much you cry later. Because the blessing does not respond to tears. It responds to alignment. To timing. To trust. That's why Michael keeps repeating. Open your heart. Stay ready. Don't delay. There are already shifts in your field. People are thinking about you right now who haven't spoken to you in years. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you've never stepped into. Someone is looking at your photo in silence. Wondering how to reach out. You don't see it yet. But something holy is swirling around you. And it's no longer waiting for permission. It's just waiting for your full yes. The transaction has been approved in heaven. And now the funds, the favor, the power are in transfer. This is a live transmission. A spiritual wire. And once it completes, your reality will never be the same again. You will weep, not because you're broken, but because you're finally seen. You will laugh, not because it's funny, but because you remember who you are again. You will give, not because you're forced, but because you now overflow. God didn't call you here just to survive. He called you to shine. To stand out. To set the example for what divine reversal looks like. This is your story now. Not the story of the one who almost made it, but the one who rose at the final hour. Believed fully. and received everything they were promised. And the time? It's getting closer. The angels are lining up. The scroll is unrolling. The countdown is real. Michael's sword is drawn. Your vault is trembling. The world will be quiet when it happens. But inside your soul, there will be an explosion. A holy shaking. A flood of tears. A cry of, "He did it. He really did it." Then close your eyes just for a moment. Because as I write this next part, something sacred is drawing closer to you. You may not hear it with your ears, but your spirit hears it clearly. A divine thunder, a quiet roar, a heavenly rustling of angel wings. The realm of the unseen is no longer far. It's brushing against your shoulders. It's walking through the halls of your house. It's sitting beside you as you breathe through this moment. And Archangel Michael says again, louder now, "This is it. Don't let it slip. Don't doubt it now. Heaven has never been this clear. God has never leaned in this close. The power moving into your life isn't just a blessing. It's an explosion of everything you were ever meant to be." Can you feel that heat? That tingling? That pressure building around your chest? That's not stress. That's the opening. That's the gate parting. That's the signature of heaven sealing the scroll in your name. You were not born for the background. You were never created to be a footnote in someone else's story. God crafted you for fullness. For glory. For legacy. And that's why the number is so specific. $55 million. Not a vague promise. Not symbolic. It's precise. Because God wanted you to know, this wasn't written for someone else. It's not generic. It's your divine confirmation. There are spiritual deposits tied to that number. Blessings your ancestors never got to touch. Ideas buried in your lineage, waiting for someone bold enough to activate them. Dreams passed from generation to generation until they reached the one person who wouldn't bury them in fear. That person is you. The angels aren't guessing anymore. They're assigning, positioning, locking coordinates into your atmosphere. And the currency isn't just gold. It's honor. It's restoration. It's divine reputation. You're not being blessed because you asked. You're being blessed because you survived. Because you didn't fold. Because you kept showing up when it made no sense. God saw you when no one clapped. He watched you give when your own hands were empty. He saw you love when your own heart was bleeding. And he waited for the moment when your heart would finally whisper, "I'm ready." This is that moment. And this is your reward. Not just because you prayed, but because you passed. Because you broke cycles. Because you forgave when you could have cursed. Because you walked away from easy shortcuts and chose the path of truth. Heaven is not handing you this out of pity. Heaven is crowning you out of prophecy. And that's why Michael is fighting with his full army tonight. Because hell is afraid of your hands touching what was always yours. Because when you touch it, you won't just spend it. You'll build nations. Yes, nations. This is bigger than rent. This is bigger than bills. This is spiritual legislation being written in your favor. Laws are shifting. Policies are cracking. Systems are trembling. Because a chosen one is stepping into place. And when the transaction hits, don't be surprised if your body shivers. If your phone lights up. If someone calls from out of nowhere. If tears fall for no reason. If the air in your room suddenly shifts. It's not magic. It's manifestation. It's what happens when spiritual obedience meets divine timing. Michael says, "This is your wealth window." The others were practice. This one is prophecy. At exactly 9 p.m., something irreversible begins. And if your heart is aligned, if you say yes without fear, the angels won't just deliver the money. They'll deliver the mission tied to it. You'll dream different. You'll speak different. You'll walk like someone who knows they're carrying the hand of God in their pocket. But only if you believe. Only if you stay in agreement. Only if you don't exit early. Because right now, this very second, your name is echoing. It's being written. It's glowing. And the Spirit is whispering. Don't stop here. You're almost there. Stay soft. Stay open. Don't rush back into noise. Let this holy silence baptize your mind. You've just received a message most will never get. You've just been given access most will only dream about. You've just had your scroll unlocked. And your soul knows it. Don't go back to small prayers. Don't go back to maybe next year. Don't go back to scraping through your days. Not when heaven just said, "I approve of this one." Bless them without limit. This is your confirmation. This is your covering. This is your closing. The final gate is now opening. And what happens in these last few moments will echo through the rest of your life. Stay still. Stay surrendered. And when the clock hits 9, welcome home to the miracle you never gave up on.